If you've been around long enough, you might recognize Gordon Eckler as one of those names you kind of know. He's been around. He's ridden for companies, had video parts, been in mags, and is definitely known as one of those skateboarders' skateboarder. He's also one of the premier skate nerds. His video collection at one time required binders to navigate, alphabetized and organized by different categories, team, year, skaters, etc., and his magazine collection was a library in and of itself. Done with hoarding, Gordon has shifted to archiving his nerddom. His new trivia game, Skate Trivia Volume 1, released through Gingko Press, is a culmination of a life in skating and years of talking about, researching, and loving skateboarding. We caught him in a few free minutes between releasing his game, designing Grant Britton's new book, spending time with his family, and running his business, Platigan Creative Company.
All right, the floor is yours.
What?
I'm recording. The floor is yours.
You center? Okay.
Yeah, it's not that kind of record. We're just recording the whole screen.
Okay. Well, before we jump into the total nerddom, you have 6 boards above your head there. Quick trivia. Do you know what 6 you have? I mean, I can identify 4 of them from here. I mean, it's just kind of funny. I've got, in my bedroom, I've got 6 boards on the wall, and 3 of them are the same as you have on your wall.
Yeah, and these are ones that I put in the office, or like this is our meeting room, and then out in the main room, there's like maybe 14 boards out there that are just like above the meeting table.
So let's jump into questions about questions.
Okay, go.
Anyone can throw out some trivia games. Anyone can ask some random trivia, but I think the real difference is whether you actually know your stuff. So I know you know your stuff, but who do you have vetting these questions, ensuring that this is the creme de la creme of trivia games?
Yes, but basically it's a wide network of people that I go to depending on what it's about. But the end goal is to reach the person where the question is about that person.
Right.
Yeah, that's the goal, is to actually connect with them.
That's fantastic. Have you noticed in that process people wanting to share even more than you ask? Are you getting like flooded with more trivia than you can deal with?
Yeah.
Parents want to talk about skateboarding.
It's one or the two. Like, so 2 people I've been talking to lately is Todd Swank and Ed Templeton. Todd is just like I send him questions. He sends me that answer and clicks send. He doesn't even say like, have a nice weekend or nothing, but I've heard from other people that he's insanely busy. So the fact that he writes me back at all is like so awesome. Ed is on the other hand, where I asked Ed like 2 questions and then he was like, oh, did you know? Oh, did you know? Oh, did you? And he sent me these like really long stories. And then he even sent me one story that was so awesome, but it kind of, it was like the behind the scenes story about something he was involved in. And I was like, dude, could I even publish this? And he was like, oh yeah, I don't think you should publish that. So
do you, are you feeling that yet, where people are wanting to paint you as like the expert, thinking that you painted yourself that way? So do they come up to you with like the hardest trivia that they expect you to, get stumped on?
I hope not.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It hasn't happened yet, but so David at Gingko, he's the primary contact at Gingko Press. We referred to the month of October as softly beating the drums, or like starting to like beat the drums, because we don't actually have games to sell yet. So we didn't want to like really market, but people are already starting to find out organically. And I've sold 10, I mean, it's very small, but I've pre-sold 10 games, and it's just saying pre-sale, I figured it'd be even lower numbers than that. So after people start to get it in their hands, we'll see if they're kind of trying to paint me like that, but absolutely not. Like I just, one thing that I've always done as long as I've been working on the game is that I feel I got a pretty good knack when I look over things and I think that's kind of who gives a shit. And then this is like, oh, that's good trivia. Just because it's like some weird, interesting thing, or it's some like weird fact. And early on I had decided, or early on I really tried where questions had to be either in a video or in a magazine or in a book, or like it had to have been published. And I've thrown all that out. Now all I care is it's true. As long as it's true, I'm going to write a question about it.
Well, it is a daunting process. How long have you been working on the game?
You and I started working in notebooks in 98.
Working in notebooks and actively trying to make a game are two different things. How long have you been actively like collecting and vetting questions and making this a real deal?
Okay, that wasn't until after I was in California. So I started writing content around 98, I think, 97, 98, maybe earlier. I can't remember when we were driving to Spunk a lot. But actually, no, it was before that because Spunk closed and it became more. So it's probably like 95. All right, so 95 is when we started curating content. When I started to actually try and make it a game was 2008. So then in 2009, that's when I started to actually type it all up. And then I ended up with somewhere around 900 questions that are around that time. And those I started to vet through the five first people I sent questions to, which was Jim Thiebaud, Bryce Kanights, Lance Mountain, Mark Whiteley, and Aaron Meza. Aaron Meza, he worked at Girl Skateboards at the time, and he used to be the editor-in-chief of Skateboarder magazine. So he was the fifth person, and I think I sent Meza, I don't know. I can't remember what category he got, but those were the five that I sent questions to, and then so that was really the beginning. So 2009 is when I really started to collect content and start to build the network of fact checkers.
A long time still. You see why that guy's just sitting on the URL. Give me 1 second. Simon, you have all of your Pokemon cards? Okay, I know those are valuable to you. Making sure you've got them in the backpack. All right, so how many would you say are sitting in the dustbin of skate trivia? What percentage make it through to the big leagues? Hang on to that answer 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, so the question was, what percentage of questions do you feel like end up in the dustbin?
Ooh. I mean, at this point right now, I've written somewhere around 1,600. And I just met up with Jack Spanbauer, who has just written another 200. Easy. And then I wrote another 30 for marketing. I mean, we're seriously like teetering on 2,000 questions. I've only released 250 in the first volume. So there really is no dustbin. There's just this back stock.
Are there any that you've been told, no, that's no good, throw it away, that you just really wanted to hang on to?
No, I've been told at least somewhere between 150 and 200 that it's like either that's blatantly wrong, I trashed it, or I wrote the question and then years later I debunked it myself and I trashed it. But like I didn't trash it, I just move it to the bottom of the doc and I write a note about why it's wrong. But what's key is when I first started working on the game, there wasn't much about skate history and definitely not online.
Right.
And then now there's like so many, like that one book written about like the history of the Ollie. It's like 2.5 inches thick. It's like crazy. Like none of that stuff existed in 2009. There was like 2 or 3 books and they weren't even very good. And websites, there was like nothing about skate history. So people have really started to kind of archive it and write about it in the last 10 years. So writing trivia has never been easier.
This is my favorite thing about the trivia game, though. I would never sit down and read a book on skateboard history. I would have it; it'd be in my collection. I don't care to open that thing up. But to put it into trivia, that's, I think, absolutely brilliant. You've basically archived our culture in a way that's interactive. We want to be a part of it. We want to quiz each other on it. Kids here, I've got kids that are as young as 7 years old that want to know some of these answers, which I think is brilliant. I think you accidentally or purposely stumbled on the best way to capture the history of our culture. So,
I don't think it's accidental, because it is something that we talked about really early on, that like this is amazing, because this is going to actually teach you about like weird nuancy parts about the skateboard history. But for sure, people are going to think that the trivia volume 1 is really hard.
are you excited about that, or are you nervous about that?
I'm indifferent, because I really did, like, I went through the content and I narrowed it down to like the 250 I think we should lead with. They're hard, but they're good. Like, they're really, like, they're so, like, I'm very proud of volume 1 in the sense where like the questions that are in it are like, some of them are funny, some are like, damn, like I have no idea, but you really want to know what the answer is. So at least that's my goal.
I don't know if I was talking to you about this or if I was talking to Kyle, but essentially it's history, and they're all facts and they're all out there. And
yeah, I really prided myself on writing questions that were ungoogleable. So that's where like the questions, some of the answers may be out there, or you just have to remember. If you don't remember, like, let's say somebody's like hell bent and they're like, I'm looking this up. You're like, I don't know. There might be some nerd out there that gets the game that actually publishes all the answers. I don't know. But as of right now, like, I'd say half of it, you can't look it up. You don't.
Well, I was saying to Kyle, I think it was to Kyle, that the only person that's afraid of a pop quiz in history class is one that didn't pay attention. So if you're paying attention to your,
right.
then you're probably
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And even like the dude that I'm talking to now that used to work at 411, he bought the game, and I was like, wow, you must be like a mega nerd. And he's like, oh, not really. He's like, if any of the questions are about the last 10 years, I don't know. And I was like, oh, sweet, me neither. So I was like, you're gonna love volume 1. I was like, it's people that have, like, if you've only been skating for 5 to 8 years, man, it's really hard.
So will there be a 2000s volume?
No, that's why I hired Spanbauer, because Spanbauer is helping me make volume 2 more, like, maybe more current, but that dude's like a mega nerd, where he knew the old stuff and he knows the stuff from the last, like, that guy is just like an encyclopedia. It's insane.
You have a Spanbauer question yet?
Dude, not typed up, because he provided all of his trivia handwritten. So I have to type it all up, but
a question where he's the answer.
No, I don't have one yet. No, but we should have, like, that. And funny, that's something I would probably get from Corpo, because I don't think Spanbauer would even write one.
No, he wouldn't. But I mean, if he gets his ender for the new null video, it'll be a trivia question for sure.
Nice. All right, I'm excited.
Well, I'm gonna have parents coming in here soon, so I should probably respect the time that we set. I think we've got enough content there. But yeah, I'll leave it with anything else you want to add.
Every person that's buying the game right now, I tell them, I want to know what you like. I really want to know what people think. I mean, people love to hate, and they definitely love to hate on the internet. But like, I'm genuinely interested what people think, what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it, so I can make volume 2, 3, 4, and 5 better. So I just, I'm down for the feedback, unless it's like, sucks, I want my money back. It's like, like, I don't care about you. But like people that give like genuine feedback about, so like I'm very, very interested.
Well, it's probably more like you're gonna get sucks, but I bet you don't know this one.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, they're still skateboarders, right? So they're gonna be like,
I like it. Well, yeah. I'll let that ride. Call that in the books.
Okay, cool. I'll send you the video.
Sounds good. I will watch it over and over, but it's mostly because I miss you, not because I think this is that engaging.
I think you got like three, maybe 4 questions in here. Email me if you need more.
Sounds great. Really appreciate it. You're the best.
All right, dude.
Later.